Hey guys, Mopar man back with part 2 to our transmission video. So you saw part 1 where I did the whole transmission, serviced it, blah 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 blah. So part 2 is essentially we're hooking up the we're running the wiring to hook up the transmission temperature gauge that you see over there. So yeah, well, you can see it. You're seeing it at me. It's been a long night. So I'm going to show you where I ran the wiring first. For me, because it's a cop car, I have a manual. I have a shift lever column shifter for this car. So here's my column shifter wiring here. Okay, cable. What I did is I took a drill bit, drilled through the rubber, and I passed in the black wire, which is my engine ground, which I have ground back here. Okay, that's my engine ground back there. And then the white wire is the signal wire, and both of those are going through the firewall through that rubber piece in through the dash, and I've brought it up through the center console. Now, I can tell you, as far as my car is concerned, boy, pain in the butt, because I didn't have the plate that usually is. They usually put a plate on these cars for manuals, and we know that the Charger never really came in a manual, so, but the plate's always there. So, being a Pursuit, they didn't have to put that plate in. I would think not, but I'm not sure on the newer Chargers if that plate still exists. I know on my truck it does. I just don't know about the newer Chargers if that plate exists. That would be the plate I would use. It's a plate with 2 bolts that go through the firewall, and on the other side are the nuts. And you can remove that plate, drill a hole, whatever you want to do, and put a rubber grommet, and then you can pass wires through the firewall that way. But like I said, I don't know if that plate still exists or not. On my truck, on my 2012 Ram 1500, it exists. That's how I've passed through all my wires through the firewall there. It's clean, it's easy, and not messy, and I don't have to worry about, like, oh, where's this wire coming from? Where's this wire coming? I know where all my wires are at. So I tried the passenger side, where, as you can see, most of my wiring is on the passenger side. I pulled the cover down on the floorboard. I could not find a rubber grommet. I mean, everything seems to be right behind the dash. So, that being said, you take a look at this. Good times. I literally had to pull out my dash bezel. I had to remove the clusters out of the way. I didn't detach them, I just moved them out of the way. And I had to bring the whole kick plate panel down and everything, just so I could see what I was doing. So, flashlight. I think I left it out there. Alright. I don't know how well you guys can see it. It's pretty much really up there. You can see the black and white wires right there. They're coming up over the steering column. It's really all the way up there, and you can slip your hand in there. I mean, I did it through here. I put my hand up and was able to pull the wires through, and then what I did is I brought them across and then routed them up over here. You know, my shit's all plastic, but on your cars, I don't know when you have the whole full center console here, how much you can remove. For me, this is kind of neat because it's all open. So so that's where we're at right now. I'm looking at the manual for the gauge, what wires go where. It needs a good engine ground. I remember that from one of my old trucks. You cannot tap into just any old ground. It has to be an engine ground. Otherwise, when you go to turn everything on, the minute it gets power, it's gonna go straight to ground and just burn the wire up. I experienced that firsthand. So it really has to be an engine ground. So once again, I showed you the engine ground I used. It was on the back driver's side. That is the easiest one to get to. That's actually on the motor. Otherwise, I didn't see any other good engine grounds unless you want to find one that's somewhere beneath the motor, you know. But that's up to you guys. So this neat little cluster here turns on all the cop lights. Everybody gets a kick out of that. But this is where I'm at right now. So I just wanted to give you guys a peek preview here, and I'm gonna show you what I made to hold the gauge. So I measured that space above where the fun box is. I like to call it the fun box. Sounds wrong, but I like to call it that because everybody wants to just turn on the cop lights. So here's the gauge. Measured it out, cut a piece of metal. I know this ain't exactly straight. It kind of narrows itself out. I will probably, once I get like a nice table saw and a bunch of other tools, I'll be able to cut it properly. I was using a cutting wheel and trying to get it as straight as possible, and it wasn't coming out. But anyway, for the time being, this will work to hold it. And I like the metal look, so I'm just going to clean it up with some brake clean and get rid of the lines. And this is going to go right there, and I can show you guys real quickly. So this will fit in like so. And yeah, I kind of like this metal look. I'm not really going to paint it or do anything like that. It looks kind of cool. Whoop, almost dropped it. Woo. So I'm just trying to get all the wiring straight. The next deal will be finding my and then here's the the little manual that shows you everything. So like I said, it says good engine ground. It doesn't say just use any old ground. Good engine ground. You definitely want that. We have the sender. That's my white wire. My good engine ground is my black wire. This needs to go to a 12 volt terminal, like a 12 volts on switch. I'm gonna try to find something that's gonna give me the 12 volt on, and then this will go to. That's the only reason I left the kick plate down, is this has got to go. Like I can either, what I could do is I'm probably just gonna connect this straight to ground. It says to connect it to a dimming switch, but I really don't wanna. I don't personally dim my lights, so my gauges and all are full bright. So I'll probably just take that straight to ground somewhere on the vehicle, and then it says connected 12 volt lighting source. I'll just run that to my my light switch, whatever gives the headlights power. I'll run it to that wire, and then I'll just tap it in on that. So that's the idea. So I will show you guys the next step when I find my 12 volt on, which it's going to be different for everybody. Once again, if you're doing this on a regular charger, you're going to have to, you could tap into probably like a cigarette lighter, like a 12 volt key-on cigarette lighter. That's the easiest thing you could probably tap into if you guys have those in your cars. For the charger, I have a ton of wiring left over from the radio. I'm pretty sure something is 12 volt on there, and I'll tap into that for the source. So that's where we're at. Alright, so I found my ignition on, I found my ignition on wire, which is this one. Obviously, there's so many wires, and I used my, I used to have a multimeter. It's good to have a multimeter. I still, they're very expensive. My multimeter broke, but I have an idiot light, which tells me I got power when it's on, power when it's, if no power if it's off. I also found my light circuit. So it's this pink and, I think it's pink and gray or pink and purple. I'm not too entirely sure. Let's see if we can put a light on it. So it's a pink and gray or pink and purple wire, and that's the parking lights. So if I have it to auto, it'll light up everything. So to test that this wire is getting power from there, what I will do is right here is I have it connected to my engine ground wire, best ground I can get, and I got my wire strippers here, but I don't really need them. And what I will do is turn this to on. I should have, voila, power there. No power, power there. There you go. See? So I got power there. Alright. So now it's time to just hook everything up and we'll be good to go. I'm just getting all my terminals crimped. By the way, I would invest in one of these. These things are awesome. Just put a little twist on it, helps seat them a little better. Okay, that's all done. The only wire is this one. This is the ground for the light. I'm just going to tap into the ground that I know is here, and then that'll be my ground. Alright, so we're hooking up, right now we're hooking up the light, power, and ground. We'll test this out. Awesome. Works. Right. That's pipe, light, power, and ground. This is our signal wire, which is this one here. It's S. Our engine ground, which is this one right here. That'll be there, and then our ignition source. There, and we'll test this out. Yep, I'm getting a reading. The needle just moved. And the needle dropped, so that's good. So it's getting power, that means the needle moved up into position, and when I turned the power off, it dropped down. So exactly what it does. See? So I'm going to turn the light on for you. Got the light. Now everything's off. Voila. Boop. We're solid. Now I can start slapping this car back together. So, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for sticking out for part 2. Thank you for this long journey. Please hit that like, hit that subscribe, save these videos. I hope this helps whoever wants to do something very similar to what I've done with my transmission. I will post a follow-up video, which is going to kind of be a combination of the car running. You know, I'm going to take it down the road, make sure everything's solid, especially with oil leaks and stuff like that. And then, obviously, the follow-up video will also contain a video of the transmission temperature gauge sensor working. So, once again, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Thank you for following me on this very long journey, and I appreciate all you guys' love and support. Thank you so much.